Our movie begins with a homeless man sleeping on the street, intoxicated, holding a bottle of alcohol in his hand. His name is Hancock, and he lives on the streets like other beggars. A child wakes him up from sleep on the street. The child points to the television showing a chase between the police and a gang. Despite Hancock's beggarly appearance, he possesses superpowers, evident when he suddenly flies to the rescue. Due to his constant state of drunkenness and disregard for consequences, he inadvertently destroys buildings in the city, causing billions in losses. As he collides with sidewalks, traffic signals, police cars, and skyscrapers. When he intervenes in a gang's getaway, the criminal shoots at Hancock, shattering the bottle of alcohol in his hand. Enraged, Hancock kicks the street, stops the gang's car with his foot, lifts it, and tosses it, demolishing buildings in the process. As a result of Hancock's actions, people and the police come to despise him, considering him a nuisance and a wrecking force. Later, the story shifts to a man named Ray, working in public relations, promoting big companies. He is working on a project to create a logo in the shape of a red heart for a promotional campaign. However, he fails to convince companies to join his campaign. Ray continues his journey and gets stuck at a traffic signal on train tracks. As a train approaches, seemingly about to run him over, Hancock appears and saves him by throwing his car away. The collision damages the railway, causing millions in losses. As Hancock continues to be a source of frustration for people, Ray, grateful for Hancock's life-saving act, invites him to dinner at his house. Ray introduces Hancock to his family, including his wife Mary, who looks at Hancock as if she knows him. Mary is surprised, and Ray continues to show gratitude towards Hancock. During dinner, Mary serves spaghetti and meatballs and maintains a keen interest in Hancock throughout the evening. Ray suggests that Hancock could improve his public image, but Hancock rejects the idea, giving Ray his business card in case he changes his mind. Ray talks to his wife about Hancock, defending him against negative opinions. Mary questions why she dislikes Hancock, and Ray explains that Hancock just wants people to notice his existence. Hancock, eavesdropping from the rooftop, senses that Ray might understand him more than anyone else. On the second day, Hancock decides to give Ray a chance and flies to his house as usual, causing destruction on the way down. As he lands, a child playing in the street insults him. Ray comes out of the house, pleased that Hancock finally agreed and gained trust. Hancock grabs the child who is descending from the sky before hitting the ground, scolds him, and warns him not to complain to his dad. Ray tells Hancock that such actions are not acceptable and they need to work together on improving his image. They enter the house and Ray shows Hancock the things he has done, such as the time Hancock didn't respect the line of children buying ice cream after he was burned, or when he extinguished a fire in an apparent or rescued a stranded whale on the beach. Ray helps Hancock understand that he is just a lonely human trying to make people accept him. When Hancock tries to remove the alcohol bottle from his hand to avoid drinking, Mary enters the house and turns on the news, revealing that there is a warrant for Hancock's arrest as he refuses to attend court. For some reason, Mary seems happy about Hancock's situation. Ray suggests an idea to Hancock that he could use the situation to his advantage by turning himself in. Hancock listens to Ray's words and attends a public conference where he apologizes to the people for his actions. Despite being insulted by a journalist, Hancock ignores him and continues reading the speech written by Ray. Hancock promises the people that he will attend sessions to recover from alcohol and aggression, vowing to become a better person. Mary watches the report on television, feeling guilty as Hancock is taken to prison. He moves along with the other inmates, having his fingerprints recorded and getting photographed. On his way to his cell, he encounters some of the criminals whom Hancock either helped the police catch or entertained them with his antiques. They try to seek revenge as most of the inmates blame Hancock for their imprisonment. Hancock doesn't want to cause trouble or harm them, but he is forced to strike one of them and humiliate him to make an example. This frightens everyone in the prison and they keep their distance from Hancock. Ray, unhappy after learning about Hancock's action, informs him that the government wants to punish him with an 8-year prison sentence. Hancock objects and disagrees with Ray, not willing to accept staying in prison. So Hancock decides to leave the prison and Ray stops him, calling him a coward. Ray asks Hancock to stop pretending that he is innocent and insists that he should stay in prison and wait out the period. Hancock agrees when Ray assures him that people will need him soon. Ray visits Hancock every day in prison, teaching him how to control his flying and land without causing destruction. He also instructs Hancock Hancock to improve his manners and speak positively. Hancock spends his time playing basketball and attending anger management and alcohol treatment sessions. However, he refuses to share his opinions during group discussions. Meanwhile, news reports highlights an increase in crime in the city since Hancock's imprisonment. One day, Mary and her son Henry visit Hancock in prison, bringing him meatball pasta since she knows it's his favorite. Mary tells Hancock that Ray is a good person and requests him not to disrespect Ray. On another occasion, Ray brings a superhero suit for Hancock to wear upon his release from prison. Hancock initially refuses, but Ray convinces him that the suit is suitable and will help Hancock express himself. Hancock agrees after being persuaded by Ray. During a basketball game with his fellow inmates, Hancock accidentally throws the ball over the prison wall. He flies over the wall to retrieve it, catching the guards' attention. They report Hancock's escape, but despite their efforts, Hancock returns with the ball willingly. Hancock makes an effort to improve and starts talking to people during group sessions, sharing his opinions for the first time. He feels accepted by others, and one day, he wakes up to the police chief informing him about a bank robbery. The gang involved in the robbery has hostages, and Hancock, after grooming his beard with his claws, dons his suit. A confrontation ensues between the police and the robbers, with hostages in a dangerous situation due to potential bomb explosions. Hancock, released from prison, arrives at the scene soaring from the sky without causing any destruction. The military watches him with admiration and astonishment as Hancock in his suit resolves the crisis without harming anyone. The event is broadcasted on the news, highlighting Hancock's impressive and non-destructive intervention. After a safe landing, the officer in charge of the hostage extraction mission welcomes Hancock and briefs him on the details of the task. There are 8 hostages held by a gang of 8 members. A police officer is injured and trapped amidst gunfire. Hancock prepares to intervene, but before he starts, he compliments the officer, acknowledging the efforts of the police force, something he learned during his prison sessions. He says, "Good job," for the first time in his life. Moving to the bank, Hancock seeks permission from the injured policewoman to handle her with respect. He lifts her and uses the car door as a shield against bullets, detaching it from its place. After ensuring her safety, Hancock proceeds to deal with the gang. Hancock takes down each member one by one until he reaches the leader, who threatens to detonate explosives surrounding the prisoners if Hancock doesn't open the safe and retrieve the money. Hancock tries to negotiate, but the criminal responds with insults, provoking him. Hancock swiftly grabs an iron shutter and, making it sharp with his claws, uses it to sever the hands of the criminal holding the detonator. Handing the criminal over to the police, Hancock successfully rescues all the hostages. People thank Hancock for his heroic actions, and news of his achievements reaches Ray, who becomes extremely proud and joyful, witnessing Hancock's transformation from a hated figure to a beloved hero. Now everyone wants to take a picture with Hancock and greet him. One day, Hancock is having dinner at a restaurant with Ray and Mary. He talks about his immortality, claiming he can't die, and mentions experiencing memory loss from 80 years ago, unable to recall anything before that. For some reason, Mary tries to hide her tears but ends up crying and apologizing to Hancock. Surprised, Hancock reassures her that she did nothing wrong. Drunk Ray is carried home by Hancock, who places him on the bed. Before leaving, Hancock grabs Ray's hand, telling him that he will become a great man. Proud, Hancock exits the room and finds Mary washing dishes. He touches Mary's hand and kisses her for no apparent reason. Suddenly, she forcefully throws him with her super strength, destroying the house in her anger. It turns out Mary possesses the same power as Hancock, maybe even stronger. Confused, Hancock wakes up the next day to find his house destroyed. Mary explains that Hancock sneezed yesterday and the sneeze was a bit intense. She pretends everything is normal, like when she hands him a ketchup bottle to open. Later, Hancock receives a work call from Ray, and as he takes it away from them, Hancock grabs a knife and stabs Mary with it. However, the knife breaks, and when he tries to hit her with a wooden object on her head, the wood shatters, leaving Mary unharmed. Hancock threatens to expose her secret unless she understands the mystery behind their powers. Mary calms him down, saying she will explain everything later if he stays silent for now. After hours, Mary goes to Hancock's trailer, which now looks like a completely different place. She tells him that they have been living with their superpowers for 3,000 years, once known as angels, and they're the last 2 of their kind. Their destiny is to live together, but Mary doesn't reveal the whole truth, irritating Hancock. He flies to Ray to learn the secret from him, but Mary follows him to prevent him from destroying destroying her life, home, and marriage. A violent altercation ensues in the city, resulting in billions in damages as they destroy structures and roads. Mary admits she was happy without him for the past few years, but Hancock accuses her of madness. She asks him to call her crazy again, and when he does, the atmosphere changes. Dark clouds gather in the sky, and Hancock finds Mary lifting and throwing the trailer at him. Meanwhile, Ray continues his campaign, symbolized by a red heart, and returns to the conflict between Hancock and Mary. Lightning strikes the ground, and hurricanes surround Hancock as they argue. Eventually, they stop in the street, speaking loudly. Unfortunately, they stand under Ray's company, witnessing and hearing Mary's secret after destroying his workplace. Hancock apologizes to Mary for everything he did, admitting he doesn't remember her. Despite his memory loss, he tells her she's the most beautiful thing he has ever seen. Ray witnesses all of this, finding it hard to believe. Later, Ray returns home and requests an explanation for what he witnessed and heard because it overwhelmed him. Mary confesses that she has been living with Hancock for a long time and they were married, but they separated before Ray was born. She explains that being with Hancock is her destiny and they always find each other no matter what happens in history. Nothing succeeded in separating them regardless of years and distances. At night, when Hancock is at a liquor store, he sees on the news that the gang leader who robbed the bank had escaped from prison. When Hancock comes to confront him about the subscription, the store owner signals to him that there is danger. Hancock understands what's happening, reaches under the cash register, grabs the thief, and confronts him. The thief fires a shot at Hancock, but strangely, it's the first time Hancock gets injured by a bullet. He's taken to the hospital where they attempt to treat him, but the needle doesn't penetrate his skin. After some struggles, his condition stabilizes. Mary visits him, explaining that when they get too close, their powers gradually disappear. Meanwhile, Ray was in the elevator with his son Henry, and the gang leader rides with them. Mary continues her explanation, stating that she and Hancock had faced violence from people over thousands of years while being together. When she consults on their injuries, she explains the reason for each of their wounds. She mentions an attack they faced 80 years ago, which caused Hancock to lose his memory after his skull cracked. To save Mary's life, she distanced herself from the incident to allow Hancock's body. Suddenly, it turns out that the bank robbery gang and Hancock's fellow inmates from prison are in the hospital. They open fire on Hancock, but Mary takes the bullets and falls to the ground. Since she also lost her strength, Hancock lifts the bed and throws it at two of the gang members. After placing Mary on the bed, he throws the gang members out of the window. In the confrontation, he gets shot and fights with them. The leader appears and shoots Hancock, who is dying along with Mary. Ray appears behind the leader, cuts off his arm with an axe, making him lose unconscious. Mary is dying and Hancock uses his last remaining power to quickly distance himself from the hospital, making his body lighter. The farther he goes, the more Mary's condition improves until Hancock knows he can't fly away from the place and Mary recovers completely. After a month, we see Mary walking with her husband, telling him historical stories she experienced over the years. Hancock calls Ray and reveals that he is living in another city, working as a superhero to achieve justice. Hancock expresses gratitude to Ray for everything he has done and asks him to look up in the sky. Ray notices that Hancock has drawn the symbol of the red heart on the moon for the world to know about Ray's advertising campaign. Hancock tells Ray that he will change the world for the better. With that, our movie comes to an end. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and share. Also, make sure to subscribe to our channel, check out our previous videos, and stay tuned for the upcoming ones. Don't forget to hit the notification bell and let us know in the comments what movie you would like to see next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.